Lockheed wins $61 million deal to fix Patriot's blind spot problem. Lockheed Martin has secured a $61 million U.S. Army contract to develop and demonstrate two of the most consequential near-term upgrades to the Patriot air defense system, a containerized missile launcher and a hemispherical guidance device that eliminates one of Patriot's most significant tactical limitations, the inability to engage threats approaching from outside a fixed sensor sector. Army Contracting Command at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama issued the cost-plus incentive contract to Lockheed Martin Missile and Fire Control in Grand Prairie, Texas, covering development and demonstration of the missile segment enhancement containerized launcher and the remote interceptor guidance 360 degrees containerized system, along with support for flight test execution, hardware envelope activities, and production of 3 RIG 360 integrated assemblies, according to the contract announcement. Work locations and funding will be determined with each order, with completion expected by May 31, 2027. The Patriot missile defense system, which Lockheed Martin produces in partnership with Raytheon, is the United States Army's primary long-range surface-to-air missile system and the backbone of air and missile defense for the U.S. military and more than a dozen allied nations. Patriot has been in service since the 1980s and has seen combat in the Gulf War, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and most recently, in Ukraine, where Ukrainian forces have used Patriot to intercept Russian ballistic missiles and cruise missiles with results that have drawn widespread international attention. The system fires the PAC-3 interceptor missile, a hit-to-kill weapon that destroys incoming threats through direct kinetic impact rather than proximity detonation, giving it exceptional lethality against ballistic missiles and large cruise missiles. The RIG 360, formerly the Remote Interceptor Guidance 360 degrees system, addresses a structural limitation that has constrained Patriot operations. Since the system entered service, conventional Patriot configurations rely on the ENMPQ-65 radar, a sectored sensor that covers a specific azimuthal arc rather than the full 360-degree hemisphere around a defended site. When a threat approaches from outside that sensor's coverage sector, the system's ability to engage it is severely degraded because the radar cannot provide the fire control quality tracking data the PAC-3 missile needs to guide itself to an intercept. That limitation has forced commanders to carefully orient Patriot batteries to face their most likely threat axis, a planning constraint that becomes dangerously rigid when adversaries probe defenses from unexpected directions or simultaneously attack from multiple azimuths. The RIG 360 breaks that constraint by functioning as a software-defined hemispherical missile communications device that provides PAC-3 missile uplink capability independent of the orientation of any single sensor, according to Lockheed Martin's briefing documentation for the system, rather than relying on a dedicated PAC-3 uplink antenna associated with a single radar. RIG 360 integrates into the Integrated Battle Command System, known as IBCS, the Army's next-generation air and missile defense command and control architecture, and draws fire control quality data from any sensor connected to the IBCS Integrated Fire Control Network. A 360-degree sensor feeding into IBCS can provide targeting data that RIG 360 then translates into missile guidance communications, allowing PAC-3 interceptors to engage threats approaching from any direction without repositioning the battery's primary radar. The Integrated Battle Command System, developed by Northrop Grumman, is the Army's answer to the interoperability problem that has historically fragmented U.S. air and missile defense operations, where different sensors and shooters operated on incompatible networks that prevented them from sharing data in real time. IBCS creates a common fire control network that connects radars, command nodes, and interceptor launchers from different system families, allowing a sensor from one system to cue an interceptor from a completely different one. RIG 360 is designed specifically to exploit that architecture, making PAC-3 engagement capability accessible from any sensor integrated into IBCS rather than limiting it to sensors with organic PAC-3 uplink capability. The missile segment enhancement containerized launcher addresses a different but equally important operational requirement. The standard M901 Patriot launcher is a large purpose-built platform that requires significant logistics infrastructure to transport, set up, and sustain a containerized launcher variant that can be deployed on a standard intermodal shipping container chassis. Dramatically expands where Patriot missile capacity can be positioned, how quickly it can be moved, and how easily it can be distributed across a dispersed defensive architecture. Without the logistical tail that conventional Patriot launchers require, the containerized concept reflects the broader Army push toward distributed air defense that is harder to target and more resilient to the precision strikes that adversaries have specifically developed to destroy concentrated air defense infrastructure. The war in Ukraine has provided the operational context that makes both of these capabilities urgently relevant. Ukrainian Patriot batteries have faced sustained multi-axis attacks from Russian cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and drones launched simultaneously from different directions and at different altitudes, exactly the attack profile that a 360-degree engagement capability is designed to address. Ukrainian operators have become some of the most experienced Patriot crews in the world, and the tactical lessons they have generated are feeding directly into U.S. Army modernization, thinking the $61 million contract for RIG-360 and the containerized launcher is in part the institutional response to what those operators have learned.